All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, you who are watching this. Today, we're going to talk about why your life matters. Your life, your sobriety. And even if you don't think you're drunk on anything, like I was listening to Eckhart Tolle a lot, and he talks about how him and lots of other mystics and teachers, saints throughout the ages, talked about how 95% of us are lost in our own thoughts and our own programming and doing the same thing over and over again every day. That's the definition of insanity, to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. And so let's see why your life matters. So we can encourage you, right? I want to encourage you so that you feel equipped to face this life and not just be like, oh, great, my sobriety matters, my life matters. Your sobriety, when I'm talking about sobriety, I'm talking about sober thinking, being awake. Jesus said, wake those who are sleeping, wake up. He said it in different ways. I'm not sure if that was his verse. But he said, I came to give you life. And that's the same thing, right? I come to give you life. How much life do you have if you're dead? If you are, dead, like lost in your own thoughts, lost in your own programming, believing in the old lies from childhood. My name's Dr. Cheryl Meyer. I've been a psychologist for over 20 years. I just have this passion to equip people so that you don't stay stuck in the same ways that I have been stuck in my life, and I've seen my clients stuck in theirs. And so I want to take this time out. This is what I do. I take time out to give back so that you are equipped. That's it. So one way you can contribute to what I'm doing is share these videos to other people, because sometimes I'll make a video on something completely that seems random, and YouTube and the other places don't know how to push the videos out anymore because I messed up their algorithm, right? So it's counting on you and miracles and divine, however that works. Jesus got 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread and multiplied it. And so you can be part of that. And don't think that you're not an important part of that, because you are. I'm not just saying this. I'm saying this because if you are meant to go into action, then do that. Don't depend on me to do everything. I'm making these videos, all right? Okay, so I don't know where that was coming from, but I needed to say it. So I take seriously what I'm saying when I ask you to do that, when I invite you to do that. It's not a guilt trip. It's a do that, it's a comment, like, share, do your part to contribute to this. Because when we're swimming upstream, we've got all these forces against us. So it's important that we collaborate together. Now, this is what I was thinking about for your sobriety and my sobriety, right? I got an image of a little girl, right? Or a little boy. A boy. I saw a boy. And I also saw a girl. Because I was one, and I am one still inside. And so you see this little boy, right? And you feel for him because he's crying. I just wish my daddy was sober. I wish my daddy, I could talk to him. I wish my mom was sober. I wish she was present. I just wish she'd had time to play with me. I wish she had time to be present with me. I wish she was aware of my pain and of the love that I want to give my mommy and my daddy, And so it's like we can empathize with these little kids, or a baby that just wants to be held, we can empathize with them. But you are that parent. Whether you're 20 years old or 17 or 14 or 30 or 50, whatever your age is, if you have kids or you don't have kids, you were one and you're carrying one in you. And the world is like your sisters and your brothers. There's a man the other day that ripped me off, right? Charged me way more than what a thing was worth. And I didn't know at the time. I was just trying to make good decisions and trying to take care of my own kids, right? And people can take advantage of that. And another man within that did as well, I believe, right? ripped me off, but to a less extent. But I was like, you have daughters. You have daughters. What you just did to me, he doesn't know. He doesn't know the law of karma or however it works, but he just did that to his own daughters. And so that he took advantage of me not knowing the price of something and charged me double or whatever, and took away from my own kids, you know, and their well-being, just because he thought that I could afford it or whatever. He has no idea, you know, no idea. You have no idea what's going on with other people, or where those resources, who those resources could have gone to help, you know, maybe one of my videos will help 1,000 people. And if I don't have the money so that I can so I can take this time, and I just take it anyway, to give to you guys, then 1,000 people wouldn't have got that nourishment, that spiritual nourishment, that psychological uplifting, that encouragement to do the right thing in their life, to do the noble thing, to do the loving thing, right? And so it's like that person thinks they're just taking from me, but they're taking from all of the other people that I serve. They're taking from their own daughters, because someone that I could speak to another person that might have got his daughters into college or something. You see, I know it doesn't work exactly like that, but I'm just giving you examples so that you understand your life matters, that you are still alive. Thank the maker, and I welcome all religions, all people, because I have this understanding. I have this understanding deep in me that the same creator created all of us, and lets the rain and the sun go to everyone. So wants everyone to have enough to live on, and crops and food and nourishment. And so I give this to you freely. I do give it to you freely. I'm not charging for this. And I invite you to take your own life as seriously as I'm taking my own freaking life, you know, and I'm taking it seriously, because believe me, when people punch you in the face and they kick you in the face and they knock you down, and I am not saying this for you to feel sorry for me. I'm saying this because when people keep knocking you down and you get back up and you put makeup on your face and you show up to give people videos to encourage them in their life, or whatever it is that you're doing, cleaning their toilets, plunging their toilets, cleaning the pipes so that if you're a plumber, making music if you're a musician, whatever you are doing in this life and that you are gifted with gifts. The creator created you, put gifts in you. It's your job to develop those. No one is there when I'm getting calluses on my fingers, when I'm learning how to play guitar chords, that I don't have to learn, but I want to learn to express music, to speak to people in more sensitive ways and loving ways that go beyond our defenses, because sometimes people don't want to just be talked at, you know what I mean? None of us really like that. And so the songs speak to us, the skating speaks to us. Whatever I'm doing, I want to do for love's sake. We did it all for the glory of love, right? That's just like an old Chicago song, right? Like a knight in shining armor from a long time ago. Take me to my castle far away. I'm a man who will fight for your honor, right? There's plenty of women all over the world right now, crying in their houses that their men will show up with honor and be noble and stop cheating on them and do the noble thing, and that they will have the wherewithal to know how to leave that man, how to not put up with that anymore, how to pray for that person, you know? There are men that are sad about their wives cheating on them, you know? If we live in this society where all they teach us how to do is keep consuming, then it's never enough. And I'm always running after my next high. I'm running after my next video that's going to make me feel good in this moment. I'm running after whatever I'm running after. Even more knowledge, you know, and it's important to get knowledge. It says seek for wisdom like you're seeking for gold, right? It's important. But if we're always consuming, we just know how to consume. And I was like looking at the cross, right? Here's Christ on the cross and going, oh, I see. If I keep believing this lie that it's never enough, then I'll see the cross of Christ and I'll be like, nope, that's not enough. I need more. No, return back to that. Return back to God becoming man on this earth and dying to reconcile us to a perfect God. Like, that's a mystery, all right? And you know, I kept getting this idea this morning, like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm like, what does that mean? You know, it's like you wash the baby in the bath. You wash yourself in this bath, and it's all dirty. The bath is, right? And they used to have tubs back then, right? And they put hot water in or whatever. And you want to tump it out. That's what we talked about. That's how we said it in Texas, right? Tump out all that dirty water. But you end up, you throwing out the baby with the bath water. You are that precious thing. You are that, right? Okay, let me tie all this together so you see, so you understand, is you are a spiritual being in a physical body. Let's return back to the basics. You're not a physical being having a spiritual experience. You're a spiritual being having this physical experience, right? That's Teilhard de Chardin said that. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, a French, I think he was a Jesuit priest. It doesn't matter. See if that truth resonates or not. If it doesn't resonate, then let it go. All right, so going back to your life matters. And what I'm talking about is that if you get sober, you have no idea all of the, okay, let me go back. There's a book that I was reading from the 1100s from this guy that was a tutor to the royal people back in those days. And he became a priest, and later he became an archbishop. That means and he reluctantly did this because he didn't want to. Anyway, he went to Bulgaria in the 1100s, and his name is Blessed Theophylact, right? So he was a noble man that stood up and just stopped. He chose to be sober in his life and do something really beautiful and give back in all these ways. And he was writing a commentary, and I was reading this commentary on the book of Matthew, right? One of the disciples of Jesus that was around Jesus, that saw Jesus, walked with him, right? And what Blessed Theophylact said in this commentary is like, the devil mocks virtue. And I just sat with that for a long time. The devil mocks at virtue, right? And so if there's an energy in this world, or an energy in yourself or your flesh or whatever you want to call it, this energy that mocks people that are virtuous, that don't take advantage of people just because they don't know the price of thing, I'm going to charge them 4 times that price. No. Do you know what I mean? Just because I can get that from people, because I know how to manipulate that from people, doesn't mean that's what I ought to do. You know, it's one thing to be able to tell people about what you do so you can sell something well, about what product you have. It's another thing to just rip them off blind, you know? And so going back to the devil mocks virtue, I'm bringing all this back, is this, you know, there's this part of you, this calling that wants to be noble, that wants to be the knight in the shining armor. You know, these women that are praying for their own spouses to stop cheating and to stop looking out there, instead connect back with divine love, with God, with the divine love that created us, and with your true purpose in life and your true aim, you know. What does it matter if you do all of these noble things, but you have not love? You're not connected to love. You're not directed towards the highest love. You don't know that your soul needs saving. Your soul, it's like, I kept seeing the bath again, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm depending on this bath to wash me clean. But the bath is a secondary thing. The most thing that I need is for my soul to be washed clean. And God offers to do that for us, right? It's like, if I learn all these books about how to be present and how to be quiet, it's like, yeah, but God's presence is what I need most, the divine love, presence with divine love. If I depend on, you know, all of this, like, you know, my exercises to make my muscles strong, you know, it's like, what does it matter how strong I get, how many muscles I develop, if I don't know how to be strong in my soul and strong in my direction towards God and strong towards the truth and strong towards love and strong towards having true courage to do the true noble thing, right? That's what I was saying the other day. What does it matter if I have courage and all this courage and I'm just going out there to valiantly find things to feed my belly, you know, to live in my flesh. So go back to the basics here. Go back. Let God speak through this. What I was seeing when I was seeing people throwing out the baby with the bathwater, it's kind of like we've all been hurt by people in the church or say, I'm Christian, and then they, you know, they're wolves in sheep clothing, or they don't know how to be Christian, or they have no idea what it means to walk next to Christ and with Christ and Christ in them. And they have no idea what it is, how painful it is to keep surrendering everything and waiting upon God and going, oh, wait, what did you want me to do? What was your direction in this? What's your instruction? And so it's like, we're like, oh, forget all of that. Forget religion, forget God, all these saints, all these people, you know, people will think those are all dumb and just throw out all of that, you know, wash it all away with the bad that you experience, you know. But it's like, no, it's like, don't wash out the most precious thing. That's what the baby represents, right? If you don't get sober, if you don't choose to be present in your life, to you know what they say in AA, step 1, I came to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. There's a power. Jesus said, seek first the kingdom of God. And he also said the kingdom of God is within you. So you have access within yourself. I'm like, within yourself to this kingdom of God, right? But if you don't, if I'm busy drinking all the time, I wouldn't have made this video. If I'm busy eating all the time, you know, and not just eating and drinking, those are just symbols, right? If I'm busy, let's go back to how most people are coming to this, right? Because they can be like, oh, those drunkards over there, I'm so glad I'm not like that. No, like if I was so busy, caught up in my own worries and my own anxieties, and believe me, there's enough of them to be caught up in, right? If I was caught up in the gravity of those, then I wouldn't even think about you. I wouldn't even have the time to set aside. No one's paying me for this. To set aside. I don't care about my channel anymore. I don't care about growing any. I don't know what to care about with that. I just give that to God. I keep surrendering. I'm just like, I don't know. Whatever you want. You know, I want to be wise, but look, if you're caught up in all of those things, then you're not going to be present for the people that you are called to be present for in this life. People say it this way. They say other people's souls, their lives are counting, their destiny is counting on you showing up and you being sober. And so it's easy for us to see a little kid and be like, oh, I feel so sorry for that little boy, that 4-year-old, that 5-year-old who's crying for his daddy to get sober, crying for his mommy to get sober. You are that mommy. You are that daddy. You are that noble person. You are that knight. You are the princess. You are the wise woman. You are the beautiful woman that owns her own beauty, that God created in you, that learns how to be at ease, that learns how to let love flow through you. You are that. And though you don't see a little 4-year-old crying, there is one, you know. And if you understand it as God, as divine love is crying, because divine love, we're stepping on divine love, who wants you to be sober and wants you to give back into this world and to be present and to love, and wants to equip you with how to do that and put gifts in you that wants you to cultivate those gifts. That it's yours to do this. If you don't do this, no one will. And if I wasn't still alive today because I had to fight all of the thoughts from my own childhood that said, you ought not to be here, you're stupid for being here, you are not worth being here, blah, blah, blah. I don't even want to repeat those words, right? But they were there, and they've been there, and they come back up, and they come back up when there's attacks or whatever is going on in this world. I have no idea. I don't categorize all of it. I just know a wave will come and hit me, and it's just like, look, get back up, just persevere and show up and keep loving whatever way you know how. Keep loving, do it that way. Just do it that way. Do it that way. And you'll find the next step because you chose the noble action in this moment. All right? Whatever that looks like, to do the noble action in this moment, do that. And keep praying for wisdom to know the next step and the next step. Because I don't know how to equip you more than that. All right? Not in this moment. I wish you love.